The 800-metre final at the European Championships was billed as the race of the year, with three of the biggest stars in the sport facing off in Birmingham. In the end, rising Swiss star Audrey Werro held off Olympic champion Keely Hodgkinson to take the win and her first European title. Now, on the face of it, losing to Werro, the first woman to run 1:53 for 800 metres since the 1980s, doesn't look like a disaster. But if we take a closer look at the circumstances of the race and the context around it, it's clear that this defeat was far more concerning for Keely than it first appears. Let's get into it. Coming into this race, it looked like Keely's best opportunity to turn the tables on Werro following her earlier defeat in Stockholm and reassert herself as the number one runner over 800 metres. She was apparently in the form of her life, having recorded her best splits ever in race prep workouts on a training camp in Portugal prior to the championships, and was excited to compete for gold in front of a home crowd. Her rival Werro then fell in the semi-finals, going down hard with 150 metres to go, and while she was reinstated on appeal, with minimal recovery before the final the next day, she was always going to struggle to be feeling her best on the start line. While Keely would not have wished for such misfortune to affect her biggest rival, the situation was clear. Circumstances had aligned to make this her best possible opportunity to topple Werro. And when the race got underway, things swung even further in Keely's favour. Both Keely and Werro are natural frontrunners, but on a windy day, leading the race from the gun was never going to be the optimum strategy. Both women went out a touch slower than usual, reluctant to take the wind, but by the 300-metre mark it was Werro who broke first and took the lead. With Femke Broeders-Bol not challenging Keely for the place on Werro's shoulder, things looked perfectly set up for Hodgkinson. She was free to follow Werro around as the Swiss star shouldered the burden of the wind and choose her time to attack. That time came with 200 metres to go, as Keely swung wide and tried to come past. But Werro held her line, responded, and started to move away. As they hit the home straight, Keely gritted her teeth and tried to reel her rival in, but to no avail. She couldn't make up the ground and crossed the line in second place. And this second place just felt different. Keely has been here before, when trying to find a way to beat Athing Mu and Mary Mora in the 2022 and 2023 World Champs. But back then, it felt like she was on the upswing and had real hope of turning the tables. Here in Birmingham, things were different. This was her best possible chance to beat Werro, and she just couldn't do it. The problem Keely faces is in two parts. The first part is that her and Werro are very similar styles of runners. Both are pure 800-metre types with decent 400-metre speed, making their preferred style of racing front running. In fact, we have to go back 4 years to the Europeans in 2022 to find the last time that Keely was able to win a championship final in which she didn't have the lead at the bell, and that was against a much weaker field than those she finds herself up against today. But Werro is now simply a better, more powerful frontrunner. Keely has worked on her 400-metre speed this year and set a PB of 51.14 in a fast race at the Rome Diamond League. But Werro managed to go faster with a 50.80 at a much smaller meet a few weeks later, the Swiss Championships. And even more worryingly, there doesn't look to be much prospect of Keely turning things around. Werro is getting better and better, with a move to become a full-time professional going into this season, seeing her chop more than 2 seconds off her 800-metre PB. Still aged just 22, it's looking likely she still has a lot of improvement ahead of her. On the other hand, Keely might still only be 24, but she has been at the top of the sport for 5 years already, in an event where longevity is not common. 800-metre athletes often only get 2 or 3 seasons operating at their peak level, and no woman has ever won medals at 3 consecutive Olympic Games as a result. Having won silver in 2021 and gold in 2024, Keely has already been at the top for a long time, and hanging on for another Olympic cycle would be unprecedented. And finally, even if Keely could maintain her level until the 2028 LA Olympics, there are other competitors coming through with more varied tools with which to challenge Werro than Hodgkinson possesses. With her 49-second 400-metre speed, and even having split 47.93 for a 400-metre relay leg, crossover star Femke Broeders-Bol could develop into an even more powerful frontrunner than either of the two big rivals. And at the other end of the scale, Keely's teammate Georgia Hunter-Bell might be older, but having only been professional since 2024, might have further to improve, and already possesses a different way to win than Keely. Her 1500-metre endurance keeps her fresh enough to unleash a huge kick in the last 200 metres, which she used to good effect to pip Keely on the line at last year's World Championships, and to destroy world champion Lilian Adira at this summer's Commonwealth Games. And then we have the young guns. 16-year-old Siva Remic won the World Under-20 Championships just a few weeks ago, and has already broken 2 minutes for 800 metres this early in her career. With impressive 400-metre speed to back that up, she could also be throwing her name into the mix come 2028. Overall then, this Women's European Championship final was huge. Werro's win could go on to mark a turning point in the sport. The age of Keely Hodgkinson being the golden girl of the 800 metres might finally be over. The age of the rising Swiss superstar, Audrey Werro, might just be beginning. Let me know in the comments below whether you think Werro will go on to dominate, or whether you think there is a way back for Hodgkinson. And if you've enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe to catch a lot more analysis throughout the rest of the season. Thanks for watching everyone, and see you in the next one.